What is up, guys? Xbox here. Today we are going to be continuing our survival series in Unity about, well, how to create a survival game. This will be episode 2. I will be showing you guys how to make this gun shoot, how to make the gun destroy objects whenever you shoot them, and how to make stat bars like health, food, and thirst. So, let's get right into it. So first of all, we're going to make this gun shoot. So let's go ahead and click on our Glock here, and let's right click and let's hit create empty. This is what we will call a shoot location. This is where our bullet will be spawned, so let's align it properly. Okay. There we go. So the gun is not actually facing forward, so what we need to do here is change the rotation on the y-axis to 90 degrees. There we go. So now this will shoot the right way. So what we need to do now is make our bullet. So what we're going to do is right click on our hierarchy, go to 3D object, sphere. And we're going to scale this to about 0.1 on all axes, and let's set the positioning to 0 to 0 so that we can actually see this. Let's move it out a bit. So here's our little bullet. So we're going to hit add component, trail renderer. And in here, we're going to set its width to 0.1. So now if we move it around, it'll have this purple trail. So let's assign the material to it. So let's click on element 0 under the materials. So let's click this little dot here. And we're going to search up line, default line. You want this one right here, resources / Unity built-in extra. So now it's at the X. Now we have this line. So now let's make it look more like a bullet. So let's click on this color here, and this is where we can set the color. So this right here, we're gonna click on this arrow right here, and we're gonna click on color, and let's make it a orange kind of. Let's click on the X's, and now if we move it around, you can see the orange. And yeah, time, I set this to like 2 or like 1. Or 0.2. Now if we do it, we'll see how it kind of good it does that. Let's even do 0.05. That'll probably be a little bit of a better one. 0.09. Let's do 0.1. There we go. There's our bullet. Now what we can actually do is just hide our mesh renderer. Actually, no. We should not do that. Sorry, I'm being dumb. Alright, so now what we can do is we can name the sphere bullet projectile. And now we have a bullet. But the trail seems a bit too big, so let's change it to like 0.08. There we go. Maybe even lower if I'm being honest, 0.05. There we go, perfect. So now let's go into our prefabs, and let's go in here and let's right click and hit create folder projectiles. And in this folder we're gonna save our bullet. Alright, cool, so now we have our bullet. Now what we can actually do is I already did it here, but we can right click and hit create. I'll just redo it here. Let me delete this. We can actually right click and hit create material, and let's call it bullet. Now it's going to be very hard to see our bullet, so this part is optional, but I'm just going to do it so that we can see it in the game. So let's put bullet on element 0. Let's set its color to there. Bam. Okay, perfect. So now we can go in here and hit overrides, apply all on our bullet projectile prefab, and then we can just delete it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is make the gun shoot. So let's click on arms block and click on add component. And in here we're gonna type in gun. Let's hit new script, name gun, and let's hit create and add. This will create a script in our Visual Studio. And in here, let's just delete all of this. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a public int ammo, a private int current ammo, a public float force, a public game object bullet, a public float damage and fire rate. And let's actually just get rid of this force here and let's put another force in here. There we go. And now we're gonna make a private float next time to fire. 0.0f. Now let's make one public transform shoot location or shoot load. Okay, so now what we can do is we can make an update. We're also gonna need a public void shoot. There we go. So an update, we're gonna do if input.get mouse button down 0 and time.time is greater than next time to fire. The next time to fire is equal to time.time plus 1f divided by fire rate. And then under here we're going to do shoot. Now if you want this gun to be automatic, which we can actually make a boolean for that, so we can make a public bool is automatic. And then up here in an update we can do if is automatic. Then we can just copy this, except this time we just do if input.get mouse button, and that will allow it to be automatic. But else, we can drag this into there. Alright, cool. So now in shoot, we can actually do a, we're gonna actually spawn in the bullet and shoot it. So what we're gonna do is do bullet, which this will be a script actually, so while we're at it, let's just create a new script. So let's go back into our Unity, and let's right click here and hit create C# script, and let's call it bullet, and hit enter. And let's open up the bullet script, and in here, it's actually a very short script. We're just gonna do a on collision enter, a start, and then a public I enumerator, start life, or this lifespan, how long it'll be active for. So yield return new, wait 4 seconds, and then the amount of time we want to wait. So it can be a float, but I'm going to do 2 seconds. And then we're going to do debug.log just to make sure that it shoots correctly. We're going to say bullet reached its range. And then under here we're going to do destroy this.game object and end that. On collision enter, we can just do destroy this.game object, and then we can also do another debug.log bullet hit object and end that. Now in start, we're going to do start coroutine, and we're going to do start life. So trying to go over it, and in the I enumerator, we're going to wait 2 seconds. And after 2 seconds, we're gonna log that the bullet has reached its range, and then we would destroy the bullet. On collision enter, this is whenever it collides with something. So if it hits like a wall or something, it'll say bullet hit object. And then on start, this is just starting the lifespan here. So now in gun, we can do bullet B is equal to, and then we're gonna do instantiate bullet comma shoot location, and we're gonna do dot get component bullet. Alright, under here we're gonna do b dot get component rigid body dot velocity is equal to shoot location dot transform direction vector 3 dot forward times, and then bullet force, or just force, and we can end that. Down here we can do b.transform dot rotation is equal to shoot location dot rotation. We can end that. There, so now we have our shooting script. Now we can actually go into our game, or into our Unity, and do this. So before we do that, let's go into bullet. Let's add some things. Let's do a public float damage And we're just going to keep that variable there. And I spelled damage wrong. I did 2 M's. Sorry about that. And rename damage. Okay, now let's make our ammo go down. So what we're going to do is we're going to first say, hey, if current ammo is less than or equal to 0, then we're going to say debug.log out of ammo. Let's end that. But then we can do an else, and then we can do this. Alright, cool. So on shoot now, we can actually subtract this ammunition. So let's do current ammo minus minus. Then we actually make a public void reload. And on reload, it's just very simple. We can also make a public I enumerator, start reload. And then in here, we can actually do a debug.log. This is just going to be for sound effects. I'll have another video with like a bunch of sounds and stuff, but for now we're going to do debugs. So taking magazine out, and then we're going to yield return new wait for seconds, reload time, which we can actually make a variable for this. So up here, we can make a public float reload time. Alright, there. And then debug.log putting magazine in. And we can end that, and then we can do current ammo is equal to ammo. There, so that's how we're gonna reload it. And then in the reload function, you can say, hey, start coroutine, start reload. And we can end that. Alright, cool. Now in the update, we can do if input .get key down keycode.r, meaning if we press the R button on our keyboard, then we can do reload. But we should also do an and. So and current ammo is not equal to ammo, meaning you aren't full on ammo. And then we're gonna reload. So we should also make a public boolean is reloading. And then in the reloading thing, we should do and exclamation is reloading. So if we're not reloading. Alright, so there. Now in reload, what we're gonna do is on here, we're gonna just do reloading, or is reloading is equal to true. And then once our current ammo is equal to ammo, we're gonna do is reloading is equal to false. There. So now if we go back into our game, we can actually assign all this stuff. So let's click on arms Glock, and we have our gun script here. Ammo, let's give it 12 bullets. It's not automatic. Our bullet, we can go into our prefabs, projectiles, and we can click on arms Glock again, and drag in our bullet projectile. Damage, let's make it do 2 damage. Fire rate, I think we can do 5. Force of the bullet, 30. Reload time, 2. Shoot location, we can drag on in our shoot location object here onto that. And there. So right now, if we play it, the bullet will not actually go forward. It will give us an error. So let's drag in our bullet projectile, and let's scroll all the way down, and let's click add component, rigid body. In here, we only have to change one thing, that is the mass. So I would suggest changing it to 0.05 or 0.02. This will make it lighter of an object and make it go farther. So we can actually hit apply now, and we can go back to our character here and delete that bullet projectile. And now all we have to do is simply play the game, and then we should be able to shoot our gun. We should also watch the console too, so let's go here. Let's click on this little speech box thing here. And you can see that we're out of ammo, because we never gave the player max ammo once we played. So what we can do here is we can do a start, and we can do current ammo is equal to ammo. There. So that will fill up our ammo on start. So once the script is started. So now if we hit play, we should not see that out of ammo message. Oh, wait, what? Did we put it in the wrong script? Current ammo is equal to ammo. We can say, if If current ammo is greater than, I always do that, I'm sorry. If it's less than or equal to 0, then we're gonna say out of ammo. Sorry about that. So now if we go back to our game, or our Unity project, let me minimize that. Let me grab that back up. If we hit play now, we should be able to shoot the bullet now. Bam, you shoot it. So it's kind of weird positioning, and that's because we never added in the bullet script. So let's go back to our project and let's add the bullet projectile. Let's make sure its positioning is at 0, 0. That's why it was spawning up in the air. Next, let's add component and let's type in bullet and add in our bullet script. We don't need to assign this damage variable because that's going to be assigned by our gun script, but we have not done that in our script yet. So for now, we just aren't going to touch that. So now let's hit apply all, and now let's hit play, and now we should be able to shoot the gun. There we go. Whoa. Oh, it's parenting it. Okay. Well, if you want to know how to make a Half-Life rocket launcher, then there you go, but we don't want to do that. So as you can see, we're out of ammo. If we hit R, taking the magazine out, putting magazine in, and now we're reloaded. See there. Now let's stop playing and let's fix this bug that we have. So let's go here and let's not do this shoot location here. Instead, we're going to do b.transform.local position is equal to shoot location dot position. And actually, on second thought, we don't even need that. So what we can actually do instead is do comma shoot location dot position comma coordinate dot identify. Okay, cool. Now let's go back to our game here. Let's wait for that to compile, and now let's hit play. Now, as you can see, it shoots correctly out of our gun, but it doesn't shoot very far. So now we're out of ammo. We can hit R, taking magazine out, putting magazine in. Now we can shoot again. Out of ammo. You hear me clicking. R, putting magazine in. There we go. So now we can stop playing now. And yeah, so that's how we are gonna make our gun shoot, but the bullet seems a little bit too heavy because it's not going very far still. So we can actually go into our bullet prefab here and scroll down to a rigid body and change the mass to 0.005. Now if we hit play, it should go a lot farther than it did. I don't think we ever applied it. Here, wait. Oh, I don't think it's because we're adding enough force. So let's go to our arms Glock. Let's change force from 30 to 50 or something. Let's hit play. Shoot. There we go. Now our bullet shoots far. So that's cool. Now we have a gun that shoots. Nice. So now let's make an object that can be destroyed if we shoot it. So let's start off by right-clicking in our scene and hit 3D object. Let's do a cylinder for an object, just for a test. This would be a enemy here. So here we can actually give this, let's go to materials, let's drag in player, because our player doesn't really have a capsule anymore, so we actually rename player to something like enemy. An enemy, let's give it a color of like a red, to say that, hey, he's bad. So there, we have an enemy now. And this enemy, we will add a component, and let's call this living. Living will be a script that all living objects will have. It'll contain their health and whatnot. So that add in, let's double click living here. In this script, we will just do a simple thing. We're going to do a public float health, a private float current health. There we go. Now all we have to do is update. If current health is not equal to health, then this, if it's less than or equal to 0, not health, then we're gonna destroy this .game object. And then on start, we need to set the value. So start, we need to do health is equal to current health. There. So now in our bullet script, this is where this damage variable will come in handy. On collision enter, we're gonna say if collision.gameObject, or we can actually do living L is equal to collision.gameObject.getComponent, where getComponent living. And in here we can just do if L is not equal to null, then we're going to do L.damage with the damage. And in living, you have to add in a public void damage. In damage, we're going to have a simple float damage amount. And all we have to do here is do current health minus equals damage amount. There we go. Now in bullet, we can do L.D damage. And there. Now that would damage him. But first of all, this damage script is not being assigned. So in gun, let's go to the shoot method and add in B.damage is equal to this.damage. Perfect. Now let's go back into our game. Let's add these variables in our living script. Let's set health to like, I don't know, 10, right? And let's give our FPS controller, arms Glock, let's set its damage to 5, so we have to shoot it 2 times in order for it to hit. If we hit play now, where'd it go? Uh-oh. Let's go to our living script. Oh, we had this backwards. Current health is equal to health. Now if we hit play, jeez, I'm always doing this. Now if we hit play, it should work now. So let's enter the game and let's shoot it. There, we shot twice and then it died. Perfect. So there, that's how we have objects that can be shot and destroyed. Let's call this enemy. But now let's add in the stats. So what we're gonna do is right click in the hierarchy and hit UI canvas. This is the canvas in our game. As you can see, it shows up in the scene, but it will not show up in the game. This is just for our editor. So if we actually hit 2D, we can go into 2D mode. If you click on canvas in your hierarchy and you go into your scene view and you press F, it will focus on it. So there, now we have our canvas. This is where all the UI is. If we right click on canvas and we hit UI panel, this will create a panel for us. We can rescale it by hitting this tool right here, the rect tool. And we can hover over this side and we can click and drag it to scale it. So I want it to be over here. Let's drag this down and over. If we click game, you can see that it shows up right here. Let's make it not transparent for now. And let's hit X on that color. Now let's right click on our panel and let's hit rename and let's call this stats. In stats, we're gonna right click and we're gonna hit UI text mesh pro. Here we need to import the text mesh essentials, so let's click on that. That's gonna import everything. Alright, so now that we have the text mesh essentials, let's hit the X, and then let's go to scene and let's position this how we want. Again, with the rect tool, we can shrink this to kind of fit our panel here. Let's click on the move tool up here and drag it upward. Now let's go into our inspector and scroll down in text mesh pro UGUI, and let's scroll down to the alignment. Let's make it centered on both of these so that it's kind of in the middle of it. Let's change the text to be stats. Let's change the color to be a little bit of a black color so that it kind of sticks out more. Perfect. So before we continue, actually I just saw we should probably drag all these scripts into our game script. So let's hit shift and click on bullet. Or no, just click on bullet and hit shift and click on living. And then drag these into the scripts folder under games. There, if we click on scripts, we have 3 scripts in here, which again will all be linked in the description along with the assets that I've been using, which again I've created myself. So, alright, now in our stats here, we're gonna right click on stats and hit UI slider. These are gonna be our health bars and such. So let's call this health. And then here in the slider, let's scroll down. Minimum value should be 0, maximum value let's change to 100. underneath the max value, there's a checkbox saying whole numbers, because you'll see that if we go here, it's the decimal value, like 83.8. Let's change the whole numbers to be on. This will make it to where it's only like there's no decimal. So that's what we want. So now let's right click on health, and let's hit duplicate, and let's rename this health object to thirst, and let's move it down. Let's do pose Y to 53.4, or let's do 43.4. Fine, 23.4, and then let's duplicate thirst. Let's rename this to food, and let's set this positioning. Let's go about negative 23.4. There we go, cool. Alright, so now we have our bars here. In game we can see them all here, but they look a little bit bland, so let's add some textures. I'm going to be linking the downloads to these textures in the description, but if we go into prefabs, we can actually create, or no, sorry, let's go into game, let's create, not show Explorer, sorry. Let's create a folder and call this sprites. Now this is not a 2D game, so sprites is going to be used for like the UI kind of, pretty much. Let's open up the sprites folder, and let's right click and hit show in Explorer. In the sprites folder here, we actually need to drag in some things, so let's go to my downloads, and I'm going to drag in my health icon, and my thirst icon, and my food icon. There, shiny apple, water drop, and health normal. So let's just rename these to be health. Let's change this one to be food, and this one to be water. Now if we go into game, we can see these three appear. Now you also notice that there's a black background. This means that it is not a sprite. We need to change it to sprite 2D and UI. This will make it transparent. So let's do these for all of them, and I can actually just click on health and shift click food and change them both by doing this and hitting apply. There, perfect. Now let's go to our bars to each one of them and click on handle slide area and expand this. Click on handle, and this is health, so I'm gonna drag on the health bar to this image here, and you'll see that it changes to the health bar. Thirst, let's just go to handle side area, handle, drag the water. Food, handle side area, handle, drag in the food, and there. Okay, cool. So now in food, what we want to do is they're all set to 100. So let's shift click all of these and drag them down to 0. And the direction drop down here says left to right. Let's change this to right to left. We make it full. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna make it kind of backwards. So let's expand all of these. Let's go to fill area to each one of them, and we're gonna change it to the color of the bar. So for health, the fill area, I will make red. There we go. Or let's make it a white actually. I messed up. Let's go to the background of each of these and change this to a red. Make it a little bit darker. Let's go to thirst background, and let's change this to a blue. Let's go to food, and let's make the background kind of like an orange of some sort. Perfect. Okay. Now we have our bars. Now let's make these stats script. So let's click on FPS controller here, and then let's click add component, and let's do stats. New script, create and add. So that's gonna add our script, and then here let's double click our stats script to open it. Alright, cool. So we need to add a few things. So first of all, at the very top of the script, we're gonna add using unityengine.ui. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a couple more things. So in the script itself, we're gonna add some variables. So public int current health, comma, current thirst. Let's do a capital for the next word, thirst, capital H health, comma, current hunger. Let's end this. Now we need to make a public slider health, comma, thirst, comma, hunger, comma. Or no comma, just end it. End it. Alright, cool. That's all we need actually, so let's go down. Let's make an update. Let's make a start and we're gonna need two I enumerators. So we're gonna make a public I enumerator, thirst bar. We're gonna make another public I enumerator, hunger bar. There we go. Now let's also make some floats. Public float hunger decrease time and thirst decrease time. If I can spell. There we go. Perfect. Now in start, we just need to start these. So start coroutine, thirst bar, and we're also gonna start coroutine hunger bar. There we go. Now under the public I enumerator thirst bar, we're gonna yield return new wait for seconds, and we're gonna change this to thirst decrease time. And then in the hunger bar, we're gonna yield return new wait for seconds, hunger decrease time. We're gonna end that. Perfect. Now in thirst bar, what we're gonna do is after it waits for this amount of time, it's gonna decrease the current thirst. So all I have to do is current thirst minus minus, which we can actually do an if statement saying if current thirst is equal to 0 or is less than or equal to 0, then current health minus minus. Else current thirst minus minus, and we're gonna start the coroutine again. So at the very bottom, we're going to do start coroutine thirst bar. There we go. Now in the hunger bar, it's basically the same thing, so I'm gonna quickly do this. Alright, so I've finished this enumerator. So now we need to update the bars. So what we're going to do is up here in the update, we're going to do health. This is the slider, dot value is equal to current health. Hunger dot value is equal to current hunger. And then thirst dot value is equal to current thirst. And then on start, we need to actually set our values. So up here, we're going to do current health, or current thirst is equal to 100, current health is equal to 100, and current hunger is equal to 100. There we go. Perfect. So now we can actually minimize this, and we can go back into our game here. We can go to the FPS controller once it's done compiling. Scroll down, stats. Current health, thirst, and hunger, we don't change those. All we need to do is assign these. So let's drag our health slider onto our health variable, thirst onto thirst, and hunger or food into the hunger one. So hunger decrease time, we can change this to every, let's say a second it'll go down, but I want to see the health bar go down too. So thirst time will decrease every 0.01 or every 0.1 seconds. So if we hit play now, you'll see that these bars will slowly decrease. Or they will slowly increase actually, because we did it backwards. So you'll see it's supposed to actually be going down, so that was a mistake. But now that it's full, the health bar will start going up. So, yeah. So let's make it actually go the other way though, because right now they're all, they should be going backwards. So what we're going to do now is go into our Visual Studio Code here, and we're going to do current thirst is equal to 0, and we're going to say if current thirst is greater than or equal to 100, then we're going to remove health, or we're going to add health in this case, else current thirst plus plus. Perfect. Now we're going to say if current hunger is greater than or equal to 100, we're gonna do current health plus plus and current hunger plus plus. Now this seems a little bit confusing, but it'll make sense once we get into the game. So now if we hit play, you'll see that the bars will be going down and not up. There we go, the thirst bar is going down like it should be. And then you'll see the hunger bar going down, or the health bar. And once that reaches 0, we should die. Or actually, no, we won't die because we never did that yet. But you'll see that it goes down. There, we are officially dead, or we aren't dead yet, but it's dead. It's down, so we're pretty much dead. So now we're gonna go to our YouTube survival, into our stats, and we're gonna do update. We're gonna say if current health is greater than or equal to 100, then we're gonna destroy the game object. So to destroy this .game object, or in this case, die. And actually, let's actually make a public void die so that we can add more stuff to the death, like a death screen. So instead of destroying it, let's just do die. And in the death, or in the die method, we can add the destroy part. Perfect, now let's go back into our game. And let's hit play.
What we do here is go back.
And now our thirst will go down. While we have to adjust some things, I'm gonna shoot some stuff. There, so now our health will go down. And once it reaches 0, we will die. Or pretty much be dead. There we go. Display 1, no cameras rendering, meaning it destroyed the object. And you'll see that it's gone. Alright, so that's stats. And quickly before I end this video, we're gonna fix the quick weapon script. So let's go into our FPS controller, expand this down, go to first person character, expand that, go to arms Glock, and open up gun. And we're gonna say else if is automatic and we're not reloading, then we can do that. But, or actually, let's not do it there. Let's do in the input, let's do and we are not reloading. Let's do that the same thing with the non-automatic. Then we're good. Alright, cool. Now if we hit play, we should not be able to shoot while we are reloading, because I just saw that I could while I was reloading in the test. So if I shoot and I reload, I cannot shoot yet until it is fully loaded in. There we go. Alright, cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe. Our next video, we will probably be covering a either building or an inventory system, one or the other. But if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe. Next episode I will hopefully get done by tomorrow. And yeah, peace.
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right, yeah. I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right, yeah. I can only say that it feels right. Going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us.